Welcome to the awards ceremony of the 72nd Annual All-America City Awards. Tonight, we designate the 10 All-America City Award winners for 2021. The finalists are Barberton, Ohio; Bellevue, Washington; Carlisle, Pennsylvania; Dallas, Texas; El Paso, Texas; Inglewood, Colorado; Evanston, Illinois; Fitzgerald, Georgia; Fort Lauderdale, Florida; Fort Wayne, Indiana; Kansas City, Missouri; Livermore, California; Miami Lakes, Florida; Miramar, Florida; Morrisville, North Carolina; Richmond, Virginia; Southfield, Michigan; Spokane, Washington; Sumter, South Carolina; Wheat Ridge, Colorado.
Welcome to the 72nd Annual All-America City Awards ceremony. We are here tonight to acknowledge all the 2021 finalists for the hard work you do in your communities. You are all winners. You know, over the past 3 days, we have seen some of the best of what America has to offer. The communities that have worked together to tackle issues during this past year have had to bring residents together with businesses, with the faith-based community, with everybody in their community to tackle challenges that they've never had to deal with before. And so we certainly recognize the hard work that all of you have done, and you are all winners. So tonight, we're celebrating the great work of these communities in terms of equity and resilience. And this has been a year of challenges that we have like none that we've ever faced before. So first of all, I'd like to thank this year's jury for their deliberation. We had 11 fantastic jurors who spent a lot of time reading through applications and listening to the presentations. I'd also like to thank the National Civic League board, staff, and volunteers. None of this would have been possible without our sponsors, Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the All-America City Awards for the 13th year now. The Campaign for Grade Level Reading, CGI Communications, ICMARC, and so many others. I'm energized what you do every day. Thank you. I'd now like to thank the City of Lakewood, Colorado, the All-America City named twice over the past decade, and also the first recipient of our Diversity Award. So I'd like to thank the City of Lakewood for their hospitality and hosting us in their studio tonight. Lakewood is a past winner of the All-America City Award and has done some great work on civic engagement, sustainability, and racial equity. With us tonight is Lakewood's Mayor, Adam Paul, who will be our MC for the evening. Mayor Paul.
Thank you, Doug. Well, good evening. And on behalf of the City of Lakewood, we'd like to welcome you to this virtual event. I know you are so excited, and I'm so thrilled to see what comes of tonight. I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to share your stories. I had the opportunity to review them, and you really do punch through building equitable and resilient communities. We faced so much this last year, and it's so cool to see how you've plowed through, how you've engaged people, how you've realized that government at the local levels can truly make the change needed to push our other levels of government. So it's my great pleasure now to welcome Ralph Smith, the Managing Director of the Campaign for Grade Level Reading. Ralph?
Thank you so much, Mayor Paul. I'm delighted to be with you this evening. And I want to say thanks for having me back. And you may not recall this, but this is an anniversary event for me because I first attended this celebration in 2011. And I was so captured and captivated by the energy in the room, by the stories that were being told, by the pride so many communities took in the work, that I have been a fan, a friend, and a partner of the National Civic League ever since. And there's a durable relationship between the National Civic League and the Campaign for Grade Level Reading. And we know that relationship is durable because it has endured. It has endured the tough times and the not so tough times. And we come out ever stronger. And for that, I want to extend my deep appreciation to Doug Linkhart, your fearless leader and a good friend. And this particular introduction for me tonight is really timely and really special because I'm not sure if our keynote speaker is fully aware of this, but the National Civic League and the Campaign for Grade Level Reading will partner next year, and really for the rest of the year, to ensure that next year's All-American City Award will focus on housing as a platform for equitable learning recovery. This is something that Doug and I have discussed and about which we're both excited. And it is that topic which allows me to feel extra honored by having an opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker. But I could not begin the evening without giving some special shout out to both Kansas City and Missouri and Richmond, California. Not having been in the process of all that being a judge, I want to just recognize two stalwarts of the Campaign for Grade Level Reading and wish them good luck. But know, as Doug says, every city in this room tonight is a winner. You know, I am proud to introduce this evening a distinguished graduate of the College of Worcester and the University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy. Erika Poethig, Special Assistant to the President for Housing and Urban Development, joined the Biden administration on day one as a member of the White House Domestic Policy Council and as Special Assistant to the President for Housing and Urban Policy. Before joining the Biden-Harris administration, Erika was Chief Innovation Officer and Vice President for Research to Action Lab at the Urban Institute, many of us know as a highly regarded social and economic policy research organization founded by President Lyndon Johnson. In the Obama-Biden administration, Erika held several positions, including Acting Assistant Secretary for the Office of Policy Development and Research at the US Department of Housing and Urban Development. And she was a leading architect of the White House Council for Strong Cities, Strong Communities. Erika led housing policy portfolios at the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation and at the City of Chicago's Department of Housing. And I could think of no one better to close out this particular effort and to really open the year-long effort around housing as a platform for equitable learning recovery than this evening's speaker, Erika Poethig. Erika?
Ralph, what an honor to be introduced by you. Thank you for that very kind introduction. And I am excited to be here tonight. Thank you to Doug Linkhart for the invitation to be here and to celebrate the 20 finalists of the All-American City Award. As Doug already said, 2020 was a year like none other. A year historians will be unpacking for generations. A year that will fill chapters, if not books, of American history. A year our children and grandchildren will ask, how is it that you got through 2020? In the midst of hardships of the pandemic, the loss of life and livelihood, Our country came to terms with the history and reality of racial violence. The death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and so many others sparked a new commitment to racial justice, and one I hope we can sustain. The layers upon layers of grief kept piling on during 2020, but through it all, we also demonstrated our resilience. Tonight, we are celebrating 20 extraordinary examples of resilience. I took great pleasure and inspiration from reading about local innovations to create greater equity through fair housing and reparations, ensuring public resources reach communities with the greatest need, not just the loudest voices, centering youth in our solutions, and finding ways to nurture democracy on Zoom. I could go on because I loved learning all about all the ways communities, small and large, across the US illustrated how we can still solve problems together, even if we aren't in the same room together. I often think about the rooms and public spaces where we build and nurture our democracy together as civic infrastructure. There are a number of different definitions for civic infrastructure, but one simple one I like is civic infrastructure is the scaffolding for all the ways that people engage in public life, from voting or volunteering to having a say on public decisions. Last year, I wrote a paper with colleagues at the Urban Institute about catalyzing neighborhood revitalization through strengthening civic infrastructure. In the paper, we summarize the range of research that shows that strong, ongoing connections between residents that take action on behalf of their community, robust relationships between policymakers and their constituents, accessible information on public issues, and positive attachments between citizens and their communities are highly correlated with a variety of positive outcomes, such as improved public health and safety, increased academic achievement, and more resilience to disasters. We haven't been spending much time in these communal spaces during the pandemic, but they are vitally important to our democracy. I yearn to spend time in my local community center, museum, or public library again. Our outdoor spaces have been a haven as we take our public meetings to parks and other venues. These spaces do not exist in all communities, especially Black and Brown communities that have faced historic disinvestment. Sometimes private institutions like houses of worship stand in for public spaces. And that's vitally important, but they aren't complete substitutes. We need to build more civic infrastructure. We need more places and spaces that nurture our democracy. Last week, President Biden went to Tulsa, Oklahoma to commemorate the 100-year anniversary of the Tulsa race massacre. He was there to bear witness to the racial violence on Black Wall Street that took lives and decimated a community. As part of his visit, the administration announced more details about investments in the American Jobs Plan that will help communities like Greenwood and North Tulsa invest in civic infrastructure. The Community Revitalization Fund would invest $10 billion in community-led civic infrastructure projects in urban, suburban, and rural areas that create innovative shared amenities, spark new local economic activity, provide services, build community wealth, and strengthen social cohesion. The fund would be targeted to economically underdeveloped and underserved communities, including those that suffer from the effects of persistent poverty, historic economic disinvestment, and ongoing displacement of long-term residents. These are the types of spaces that create the connection so important to grassroots democracy. Spaces we vitally need to achieve better outcomes for America's families and children. So Ralph, Doug did share with me that 2022's theme for the All-American Cities Award is children's literacy with tied to safe and affordable housing, or affordable housing as a platform for achieving those aims. And I could not be more excited about this theme and the linkage between housing and children's literacy. 15 years ago, I started a research initiative at the MacArthur Foundation to better understand how housing matters to educational, health, and economic mobility. Today, this body of research underscores that housing does matter, especially in the lives of children. We know that grade level reading by third grade is one of the strongest predictors of lifetime economic mobility. That is why children's literacy is so critical for our country's long-term prosperity. But what is the relationship between literacy and housing? There are so many mechanisms, but I will just name a few that I wanted to highlight today. So number one, housing quality. When we remove lead from homes and water pipes, as the Biden administration hopes to do through the American Jobs Plan, we know that third grade test scores go up. Number two, housing stability. When kids stop moving between schools at high rates, reading achievement scores are better in the short and the long term. Children living in homes that were in foreclosure and tax delinquency or owned by a speculator were more likely to receive worse kindergarten readiness scores than children in stable housing. That is why it is critical to keep families stably housed through this crisis by preventing evictions and foreclosures with emergency rental assistance and mortgage relief. The American Rescue Plan provides those much needed resources, but we need partners at the state and local level to make sure that funding reaches families in need. Number three, housing connected with services. Many housing providers offer on-site after-school programs, and research shows that these programs can reduce students' likelihood of suspension and expulsion, improve science and math proficiency, improve school attendance, and improve reading assessment scores. And number four, housing affordability. For families, housing is often the largest household expense. In fact, there are 11 million households who pay more than 50% of their household income for rent. As we say, the rent eats first. And when families spend too much on housing, they are not investing in other critical supports like books and other opportunities to build literacy and long-term well-being. And we know that kids growing up in households that benefited from housing assistance earned more income by their mid-20s than similar kids without that assistance. That is why one of the president's signature housing commitments is to expand rental assistance to all eligible households. In short, housing has a profound impact on all children's lives. I look forward to 2022 and reading about all the incredible ways local communities are making the connection between literacy and housing. And as Justice Louis Brandeis once said, our state and local governments are the laboratories of our democracy. I know that's what the Civic League is committed to. And this administration is so grateful for the work you do each day. And I am personally inspired to find ways to broaden the reach of your work to communities across the US. So many thanks for inviting me to address this celebration tonight. Congratulations to all the finalists. Take care and have a good evening.
Thank you, Erika. That was wonderful. While I know virtual events are different, we hope you've enjoyed yourself during the last few days and have learned from this year's keynote speakers and your fellow finalists. And now, let's get to what you've all been waiting for. Let's begin announcing some awards. Doug?
Thank you, Mayor Paul. And thank you, Erika. We really appreciate your joining us and representing the White House here tonight. Before we get to the All-America City Awards, there are a couple of other awards we want to announce first. We have a Youth Leadership Award named after John Parr, who was president of the National Civic League for many years and brought great things to the League during his tenure from 1986 to 1995. During that time, the League thrived, growing into its Denver headquarters and increasing its focus on civic engagement. This award recognizes extraordinary civic engagement and leadership on the part of a young person in their community. I want to thank Civic Results and the Friends of John Parr who have donated in his honor for this award. The winner of the Youth Leadership Award will receive 2 round-trip tickets on Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the All-America City Awards. The nominees are Maya Bahola from Miramar, Florida, Asia Good from Richmond, Virginia, Maher Grual from Bellevue, Washington, Howard Houston Haynes from Southfield, Michigan, Justice Horn, Kansas City, Missouri, Chance Mead from Wheat Ridge, Colorado, Will Taggart from Livermore, California, and Amir Williams from Fort Wayne, Indiana. We have 2 winners this year. The first winner for Extraordinary Community Leadership is Maya Bahola. And feel free to unmute to all of you at this point. Thank you. The second winner is Justice Horn. And Justice is from Kansas City, Missouri. So congratulations to both of you. Really appreciate your leadership and look forward to great things from you in the future. Back to Mayor Paul.
Congratulations, Maya and Justice. You'll be sent your Southwest Airlines vouchers and award certificates shortly. Joining us to present the Social Media Award is Rebecca Trout, Program Director of the All-America City Awards and Communications at the National Civic League. Welcome. Good evening.
Hello, everyone. The Social Media Award is given for the best use of social media and online platforms as a finalist for the 2021 All-America City Award. The nominees are Carlisle, Pennsylvania, El Paso, Texas, Inglewood, Colorado, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Livermore, California, Miramar, Florida, Morrisville, North Carolina, Southfield, Michigan, Sumter, South Carolina, and Wheat Ridge, Colorado. The winner is Sumter, South Carolina. Good job, Team Sumter. All right, and Sumter, if you'd like to unmute to celebrate your Social Media Award, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we'll hand it back to Mayor Paul.
Thank you, Rebecca. Now, the time you've all been waiting for. It's time to announce the 2021 All-America Cities. Please remember, even if your community is not designated this evening as finalists, you have so much to celebrate. We think you're terrific and appreciate the good work that you are doing in your community. If your community's name is called, please have your representative unmute themselves to give us a glimpse of your community's representatives and to briefly accept your award. For each winner, the actual All-America City plaque will either be personally delivered by league representatives or mailed. Please remember that winners will not be announced alphabetically, but in a randomized order that does not reflect any sort of ranking amongst the 10 winners. Joining me on stage is Derek Akubu, Executive Director, the Agency of Human Rights and Community Partnerships with our friends at the City and County of Denver. Members of the League's Board of Directors, as well as Rebecca Trout, Program Director of All-America City Awards, will be joining Derek. Good evening.
Thank you, Mayor Paul. So this is a time we've all been waiting for, and I'll start us off with the first All-America City awardee. This community stayed connected and safe during the pandemic. This community is bringing healthy food to residents. This community has embraced new residents through sport. Congratulations to the All-America City of Morrisville, North Carolina.
Congratulations, Morrisville. If you'd like to unmute to accept your award, we welcome you to do that at this time.
Good evening. I bring greetings from the beautiful city of Morrisville, North Carolina. We want to, thank God for the opportunity. It's such an honor. Also want to recognize our town council, our town manager, Martha Page, and our entire delegation of community partners and our residents. We thank you.
Congratulations again, Morrisville. All right, moving on. This community is focused on quality education. This community creates connection through recreation. This community is united in supporting Black men and boys. The All-America City of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Thank you very much for giving us this honor. Fort Wayne, Indiana is a city that has really strove towards diversity and inclusiveness. I thank my entire community for embracing everyone in this community, anyone who wants to call Fort Wayne home. Thank you so very much.
Next award. This community has proved its resilience. This community is caring for the most vulnerable. This community is a city with strength. The All-America City of El Paso, Texas.
Thank you so much. We are incredibly honored. I'm thrilled to be here. Mayor Leeser.
Well, thank you. And you know, one thing that we have learned from all the adversity we've had, that we cannot be defined by tragedy, but by working together and making sure that our people are taken care of. And you know, as you see everyone standing behind us, this was all these people as one voice for the great community of El Paso, Texas. Thank you all, and may God bless everyone. Thank you.
For the next award winner. This community embraces diversity. This community took care of at-risk residents during the pandemic. This community built a castle for every princess. The All-America City of Bellevue, Washington. Congratulations, Bellevue.
Thank you very much, National Civic League. And on behalf of the City of Bellevue, we'd like to thank you for this award. Thank you to our leaders, our elected officials, our city manager, but most importantly, our community partners who really pushed us to think about nothing for us without us. Thank you so much.
The next award. This community's economy is equitable. This community embraces the arts. This community cares for its seniors. The All-America City of Miramar, Florida.
This community is supporting those experiencing homelessness. This community is fighting for social justice. This community's students are reducing e-cigarette use. The All-America City of Livermore, California. Congratulations, Livermore. If you're with us, please feel free to unmute yourselves.
Okay, well, thank you. Hello, I'm Livermore Mayor Bob Warner, and I'd like to thank, on behalf of all of Livermore, the National Civic League for recognizing the incredible work being done in our community. As you saw in our presentation, we have an active and engaged community full of citizens of all ages and who care deeply about their city, the neighbors, and affecting positive change for future generations. This award was won by all of Livermore, and I look forward to the amazing work we will continue to do together. So thanks again.
The next award. This community made finding resources easier. This community is preparing youth for meaningful employment. This community is providing reparations for Black residents. The All-America City of Evanston, Illinois. Congratulations, Evanston.
Hi, thank you for having us. This has truly been a joy on the behalf of the City of Evanston. I am grateful to be here to accept the award for our community. We'll continue to strive to do amazing work here, and thank you again so much.
This community is addressing its past through racial reconciliation. This community is taking action on climate change. This community can. The All-America City of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Congratulations, Carlisle.
You can tell we're very excited. I'm Deputy Mayor Sean Schultz. On behalf of the Mayor and Borough Council, I'm sure the jury, and thank you to the jury. Sure, you can tell how much we love our town from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much. We appreciate the award. We take it as an investment in our future, and we won't let this jury down. Thank you so much.
The next award. This community helps residents get around. This community is applying an equity lens to planning. This community is reducing gaps in life expectancy. The All-America City of Kansas City, Missouri. Congratulations, Kansas City.
Hey, thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Hernandez with the City of Kansas City, Missouri, and we are pleased to accept this award on behalf of Mayor Quentin Lucas, the City Manager, Brian Platt, our entire City Council, but most importantly, all of our staff and all of our residents who are really what make us an All-America City. We'll proudly add that title to being the City of Fountains in the heart of the nation. Thank you once again.
All right, and for our last winner this evening, this community created leaders focused on sustainability. This community's collaborations strengthen their resiliency. This community is opening doors. The All-America City of Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Congratulations, Wheat Ridge.
And we just feel honored to be amongst so many great cities in our nation. Thank you so much, and we will continue to do the good work. Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. I'm now going to bring Mayor Paul back up to the stage to recognize the remaining finalists. Mayor Paul.
Thank you, Derek and Rebecca. That's one of the best jobs, I think, around right now. So I'd like to recognize the remaining finalists: Barberton, Ohio; Dallas, Texas; my friends in Inglewood, Colorado; Fitzgerald, Georgia; Fort Lauderdale, Florida; Miami Lakes, Florida; Richmond, Virginia; Southfield, Michigan; Spokane, Washington; and Sumter, South Carolina. We appreciate all that you have done, and certainly worthy of great accolades, and encourage you to continue your hard work and know that you are making a difference for residents in your community day in and day out. So I think, Doug, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mayor Paul. Just a word to the 20 finalists. You all made this a really hard night for the jurors. This was a really tough decision. There were 20 great finalists doing great work in communities. And truly, when we say you're all winners, we mean it. You're doing terrific work in your community, so thank you so much. Your work is exemplary, and we thank you for sharing it with us. Since we were unable to gather in person this year, we're offering to have league representatives travel to your communities to present your award plaques. I want to mention Southwest Airlines again. They're turning 50 this month, and we'll be celebrating with their employees and communities across the country to inspire 1 million acts of kindness. We're doing our part by sending Southwest gift cards to individuals who have been especially engaged throughout the event. You'll be hearing from Rebecca about how to receive your gift. Also, thanks to Southwest Airlines, we're able to recognize some additional winners for Civic Action Fair and Cultural Entertainment Showcase. I hope you'll be able to visit that part of our website. The winners of the Cultural Entertainment Showcase are Kimmy Horn Jazz Festival from Southfield, Michigan, and Livermore Kids Teach Shakespeare from Livermore, California. The winner of the Civic Action Fair booth is El Paso, Texas. And now we are pleased to announce the theme for next year's award. In partnership with the Campaign for Grade Level Reading, the 2022 theme is Housing as a Platform for Equitable Learning Recovery. You saw Ralph Smith a little bit earlier introducing our keynote speaker, and we have a partnership with the Campaign for Grade Level Reading which is trying to bring all kids in America to grade level reading by 3rd grade. So they'll be focusing particularly on housing supports for improving early literacy, and we invite you all to apply. More information about the 2022 award theme can be found on our website. This weekend has reminded me not only of the urgent work we must accomplish together to improve the equity and resilience of our communities, but also that we can all succeed when we work together across our communities, across the nation. We hope you've enjoyed the 2021 All-America City Awards. Have a great evening.